Hi friends, Chandrasekhar here again, and now we are into the 14th lecture, if I remember right, in the series of lectures on yogas. This time I am not going to talk about a specific yoga but a group of 5 yogas. And this lecture is not basically about the yogas but the background of these yogas or the principles that I think are behind these yogas. Which are these yogas? They are very famous yogas, every astrologer knows about it. Even laymen many times talk about the Panch Mahāpurusha yoga, and so we are going to talk about the principles behind not only the formation but also the results of the Panch Mahāpurusha yoga. Now the question arises that there are basically 7 planets. I mean the planets which we can see with our eyes. The 2 are the shadow planets. They are called as shadowy planets. They are called as the dark ones. So Rahu and Ketu are excluded. So 7 are there. So why only 5? What is so great about it? The very word Pancha Mahāpurusha is indicating something to us. There are 5 tattvas. They are called the Mahatattvas. Maha is the great ones. Mahāpurusha is the great people. So now, when Purusha and Prakriti come together, these 5 principles come into play. We know there are 5 tattvas, as they call it. Actually, it is tattva, but in English we call it tattvas to make that better, like because we add a at the end of it. So, in these yogas, only 5 planets are considered. We will see what is said by the sage before we begin this, so that the idea is clear. Sage Parashara says, atha vakṣyāmahaṁ Panch Mahāpurusha lakṣaṇam. Now I am telling the indications of the great 5 Mahāpurusha yogas. That is, yogas which indicate great personalities. Then he says, svabhoccagata. Bha means Rashi, so swa is own, ucca is exaltation. Kendrasthairbalibhiśca in kendra. Balibhiśca, kujādibhīḥ, which means Mars and other planets, when they are in own house or in their house of exaltation and in kendras, that is squares, and endowed with strength, then rucaka, bhadro. So the shloka says, kramaśo rucaka bhadro, haṁso mālavya evacha, śaśaścaita budhaiḥ, sarvairmahāntaḥ puruṣāḥ smṛtaḥ. The yogas, the names of the yogas are rucaka, bhadro, haṁso, mālavya and śaśa. 5 yogas in the order of Mars, Mercury, then Jupiter, Venus and Saturn. Why from Mars? Because Sun and Moon are excluded. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you can understand that. Now, these are all called the Mahāpurusha yogas. So the 5 principles which are talked about in ancient Hindu philosophy are the Teja, Gandha, Teja, Rasana or Jala, Vayu, Akash, etc. These are the 5 principles. These principles are distributed over these 5 planets. So Rucaka, the Mars, has got the Agni, the Tej with him, and Bhadra has Gandha, that is the earth, with him. Haṁsa yoga relates to Jupiter, who is given the Akasha Tattva, space as we call it in English, but it is a bit different. Mālavya is the Rasana, the Jala Tattva, and Vayu, the air element, is given to Saturn. And these 5 elements are represented here by these 5 planets. Why not sun and moon? Because sun is Atma, the soul, and also the self-confidence, which is a perception. And moon is mind, again a perception. These are not physical things. It is said that human body or body of anything, I mean, why human, animate, inanimate, all bodies are created out of different proportions of these five tattvas, the five principles. So only those are taken into consideration. When we are alive, soul and mind are with us. When we are dead, they are gone. Then the body is cremated, and that ash again goes through water again. It goes through. You will see that Agni and Vayu and everything will come into picture when you depart, at least according to the Hindu tradition. And the ash is again put in the flowing water. So these Panch Mahāpurusha create you after you are not alive, to put it in a simpler way instead of saying dead, which is generally what I would say, but nowadays I try to moderate my speech. I am a bit blunt sometimes, and if I do that, kindly pardon me, that is my nature. So they go back to the old tattvas only, through the same journey. The journey that they take, they end in the same way. Now, why not sun and moon is a problem that could arise in the mind of anybody. I mean, why these two people are kept apart? No, we have seen the sun-centric and the moon-centric yoga. They are different. They have got some other implications. Here the reason is, if sun is powerful, he can also, because he is called the krura graha, the cruel one, he can create problems. And if I'm sure you are all learned people, you must have read that if sun is in lagna, that is in ascendant, in Leo Rashi, his own Rashi, it can lead to night blindness. So a powerful sun is not always good. Moon himself is variable, so perhaps that is why moon is also excluded from this, because he might be in his own house, but he might not be endowed with the paksha bala, as we call it, the fortnightly strength. Because here kendrasthairbalibhiśca, is it, they should be in kendra and strong. So he cannot be given a what can we say, the blanket sanction of occupying own house or house of exaltation and give X results or Y results, because he might be sometimes strong, he might not be sometimes strong. This strength depends on his distance from sun, that you are all aware of. So, and of course his brightness. So that is why they are excluded. These five are taken. Now this kendrasthairbalibhiśca, that is, they should be in kendra and endowed with strength, is important. Please remember this. I will try to keep this lecture as small as possible, because this is just a background to the Panch Mahāpurusha yoga. In next lectures we will take one by one, rucaka yoga, bhadro yoga and haṁso yoga and so on. I will try to take them in the same order as is stated by that is the Monday, Wednesday, that format. So now the question arises that a planet in own house is always supposed to be strong, so why I write this? And kendras are the places which have got strength. One has to understand kendras have strength, whereas the trines have the learning from experience, you can say, or intellect, and the sense of duty, 5th and 9th. So whatever action is to be taken through kendra. That is why, and many a times even the malefics give good results in kendra. You will see in most of the successful people's chart, malefics occupying the squares. Though it is said that there should be only benefic in the squares and malefic should be in 6, 8 and 12 and so on, 3, 6, 11. But you will find that rarely happens in case of extremely successful people, because that energy comes from these 4 squares. They are called the Vishnu Sthana, abode of Lord Vishnu, who is the sustainer for this world which has been created. He is also king, and king's duty is to provide succor, and he can only provide that by dint of his strength and his wealth. Now this wealth comes from his valor, and it is retained with him by the trines. And that is why in every Raja Yoga you will find trine and kendra lords coming together, especially if in a square or in a trine. They are supposed to give good Raja Yogas, good yogas for authority and wealth. Raja Yogas, always remember, it is about authority and wealth. And with respect to the position, the Jataka, the parent was bhadro. So please remember this. Otherwise, people immediately start setting up somebody wearing a tiara or a crown on his head. That's not the case. Raja has a more wider definition, at least according to me. So why is this given? They will always be strong? No. Look at the strength derived from the Navamsha chart. If it is weak, will the yoga will be there, the intensity will be less. This is first point. Next point is, look at the directional strength of the planets. This is always missed. Most of the time we know the directional strength, but we rarely apply them when assessing strength of the planet. Here we must, because they have been very specific. They are not talking about a malefic aspect in them or anything. That will naturally come. I mean, you apply your sense of proportion, you will understand if malefic is aspecting. He will also give some energy. Bad or good is a different issue depending on the malefic, or even the benefic will give something good or bad. That is a different issue. It has nothing to do with this Panch Mahāpurusha yoga, the 5 yogas of the great personalities, indicative of great personalities. So the directional strength is important. So Sun and Mars in the 10th house, in own house or in house of exaltation, would be considered very strong. So the yoga caused by them in that position will be stronger. And Sun, of course, is out. So what remains is Mars, is very obvious. What happens if Mars is in the Lagna? Then 50% strength is still left. If he is in the 4th, he is bereft of the equal. Does it mean the yoga will not apply at all? No, it will still apply. The extent would be a bit less. So we know that Jupiter and Mercury in the Lagna, they gain directional strength. You will also observe that directional strength to Sun is same as that of Mars. So in a way they are considered, but on a different level. Then 4th house, Venus will be strong there, isn't it? So, and in the 7th house, Saturn will be strong. So we have to understand the strength of the directional strength of the planets also when we consider these things. Otherwise, what happens is, we make a mistake, because we remember that planets in own or exaltation house in a kendra lead to the Panch Mahāpurusha yoga. Of course, Sun and Moon are excluded, but do remember to check their strength before you just jump to conclusion that this is great yoga and he will become a king. Don't do that, and even that king will be depending on where he is born, what circumstances were there, and rest of the planets in his chart. Now here, if Sun comes near them, what happens is the strength will be less. Any planet with the king loses strength very near, it is called combust. But if Moon is there, then what happens? Any planet with Moon gains strength, that is called samāgama. So even if, say, Digbala is a bit less and Moon is with the planet, then that planet gets strength. So this Bali, the definition of being strong, comes into play. This has to be understood. Otherwise, what happens if other planets come? Naturally, with association, they will modify the results. This has to be understood. If malefic aspect, what happens? So think about it. In purity, they should be alone with dignity of directional strength and strength from the Navamsha to give the complete results of, or perhaps if directional strength is not there, at least Moon should be with it, so that the planet gets strength. And then the results which are given which we will talk about when we go to the next lecture. We start with the rucaka mahāpurusha yoga. Then, based on other planets that are already there in the in the chart of the Jataka and the variation caused because of them, more or less the results would come through. The quantum would always depend on the strength, and that final result will also depend on at what level that person started his life. That is, when he was born, what was the position. So, son of a king, even with bad yogas, will appear to be more wealthy and more powerful than a great scientist who rose through the dint of his own exertion and intellect. Because this guy was born at a much lower level, so he has to climb more stairs. So the yoga has to be more powerful. So please remember this. Otherwise, we go with outward appearances and come to some conclusion, and then we start, doubting either the science itself or our own capacity to understand what is being said. Please don't do both the things. So I think anyway, I thought I'll cover this up in 10 minutes. It is 16 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes I might talk more. So remember this, that strength of those planets is also important. Because the shloka does say that not only have they to be in own house or in house of exaltation, they also have to be endowed with strength and occupy the kendra for the yoga to fructify. And the name is Panch Mahāpurusha yoga. Yoga integrated by the 5 great personalities. Who are those personalities? These are those 5 Mahat which form our body. The Pancha Mahabhut we call them. That is what it is referring to. They have kept out the soul and the mind for a particular reason, which I have tried to explain to the best of my ability. So my dear friends, I shall take your leave. I hope you like this conversation of ours. I would rather call it conversation than, anyway, I always talk in the form of conversation, so conversation may be a better word. And do give your feedback, even if somebody says that I don't know anything, I don't mind that. Because anyway, having understood the vast knowledge that went into the formation of this science, I understand that I hardly know anything. I am only telling what is my interpretation of what is already said by the sages. So my dear friend, I take your leave and a very good night.